Zoombies vs. Censorship. In the strange and often surprising history of comic books, few stories are as peculiar as the saga of the Zoombi. In the mid-20th century, comic books were under intense public scrutiny, accused of corrupting the youth with their lurid tales of horror and violence. To clean up their image, the industry formed the Comics Code Authority, CCA, in 1954, which enforced strict guidelines on what could and couldn't be shown or even mentioned in comics. Among the many words and themes banned was the term zombie. You might wonder why such a specific monster was targeted, but the CCA was determined to keep comics as wholesome as possible, and zombies, associated with the supernatural and grave robbing, were seen as a corrupting influence. This ban presented a unique challenge for creators at Marvel Comics in the 1950s and 60s, who were eager to tell horror stories but found themselves blocked by this single, forbidden word. But comic book writers have always been a creative bunch, and instead of abandoning their undead tales, they simply invented a workaround. Enter the Zoombi. The term was borrowed from a short story by pulp writer Robert E. Howard, and Marvel embraced it for their own purposes. The Zoombi was essentially a zombie in all but name, a reanimated corpse, shambling and mindless, menacing the living. It showed up in stories across Marvel's horror titles, giving readers their fix of the undead without running afoul of the CCA. For years, Marvel's pages crawled with Zoombies, a wink to savvy readers who knew the real monster lurking behind the made-up name. The creative workaround even became a running joke among fans and creators alike, poking fun at the sometimes arbitrary nature of censorship. Behind the scenes, editors and writers found increasingly clever ways to skirt the rules, sometimes substituting other words or inventing new monsters altogether, as the restrictions of the CCA shaped the very language and tropes of comic storytelling. The Zoombi became a symbol of both the absurdity and the ingenuity that defined comic book culture during this period. By the early 1970s, social attitudes had shifted and the CCA began to relax its rules. Marvel wasted no time introducing the word zombie, launching series like Tales of the Zombie and fully embracing the undead once more. But the legend of the Zoombi lives on, a testament to the inventiveness of comic creators under pressure and a quirky footnote in the history of censorship. Next time you see a zombie in your favorite comic, remember the Zoombi, a creature born not from the grave, but from the need to outsmart the censors. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time.